I believe nothing at this point. I believe nothing.
I think by now, most of us understand that this is true, that we have been lied to since childhood about literally everything. Like everything that we thought was true, everything we were taught in school, everything we learned growing up, and everything we hear on the news, everything that people believe to be true is just not true. It's all a lie.
I'm struggling with looking at the world and everything that's going on in it because everywhere I look, I just want to scream at the top of my lungs. But then I realize that, well, I make my own reality. One of my favorite movies is The Truman Show, and I often think that so much of life is a lot more like that movie than I think we give it credit for. And sometimes I feel like we're just in a TV show, and it's like, what happens on life today? And it's crazy how much I think Hollywood prepare us and get us in this storytelling mode of like looking for the hero and looking for character development and why we appreciate that so much. And I want to just, say, oh, this thing going on here or that thing going on there or this thing, that's all distractions. It's all something but if they're distractions from what? Like, where should we be looking? And it feels like the more I wake up, the crazier things get. And is that just coincidence or is that by design? Like, I don't want to make it sound like, I'm controlling my own reality to the point where this is all about me and I'm Truman in the Truman Show, but it's just, what the hell? Like I can't look at what's happening around me and not just want to scream. But at the same time, it's like, what control do I really have? I feel like I've embraced this idea of the Serenity Prayer where it's just like, I want to only focus on the things that I can control and knowing that so much is out of my control. And I need to have the wisdom to know the difference between those two. But at the same point, I look back in history at times when people should have stood up and they should have fought for things they believed in. And instead, they just looked the other way. It's like, I don't want to do that. But I don't know which fire to point the fire hose at, for God's sakes. It's just, there's fires burning everywhere. And, the fire's always been burning since the world's been turning, right? But does that mean just let it burn? Man, like, I can't be the only one feeling this way. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Anybody that knows me personally knows that I'm a big conspiracy theorist, right? And at this point, you might as well not call it conspiracies. I just don't believe anything in mainstream media. I don't believe anything involving these celebrities. I don't believe when they get married. I don't believe when they break up. I don't even believe when they have kids. Politics, I don't believe there is a such thing as Republican or Democrat. I believe they're all playing for the same team. And at the end of the day, no matter who you vote for, there's a certain group of people that's constantly going to get screwed over. And I believe both parties have separate agendas, but those separate agendas just work in tandem with one agenda with the people at the top. If you know, you know. Don't even go off what I'm saying. Start doing your own research. But I think we've been lulled to sleep with entertainment and numbing mechanisms and social media. And yeah, social media is a great tool, but boy, is it a distraction. And it can be a tool that's used to be divisive, right? So question everything, bro. Get in your word.
I think one of the scariest parts about life today is that I don't believe anything anyone says anymore. And it's not necessarily just people I know personally, it's also the mainstream media, it's also any articles I read online, it's also any video I see on TikTok or YouTube. I don't believe a word anyone says anymore. I have to do oodles of research to decide if anything that someone said is true. And it's really difficult to live a life in which you have no trust for any of the information that's coming at you. And everyone knows it's created an environment where people come up with any theory they want and just subscribe to that. And I do not blame them for doing that because there is nowhere to be sure you're getting the right information. The mainstream media f***ed us by being liars. We trusted them to give us the information we needed to make decisions, and they lied to us repeatedly. And they've left us in this post-truth world where no one knows what the f*** is going on at any given time. And it's a scary place.
Does anyone else in America feel like you're waking up every single day to realizing that your entire life has been a complete scam and a lie?
How is everyone struggling at the same time right now? Like, I'm looking around and it's not just one group of people. It's people with degrees. It's people with jobs. It's people doing everything that they're supposed to be doing and still barely getting by. So it's like, at what point do we stop acting like this is an individual problem and admit that something is just not working anymore?
We pay taxes on the money that we earn. Then we pay taxes on the things that we buy. Plus we pay taxes on the streets and the roads and the schools and everything else in the world. Then we pay taxes for the things that we own long term, like your car and your house and whatever, property taxes, blah, blah, blah. Please tell me why it is tax season and we owe a couple $1,000s. Please tell me why. So then you get a little side job or two, in my case two, and you owe more taxes on that. And then and you're not even making much more money. So it's not even like you're in a higher tax bracket. But let's say you made $2,000 little extra dollars that year, and then you owe like half of that in taxes. Please tell me how anybody's supposed to get ahead. You're not. The answer is that you're not. This is ridiculous, and I'm so done with it. I'm a little heated, yes. Because how do we owe a couple $1,000s in taxes? We're broke.
What do you mean I paid a credit card down to zero finally, and I get an email today that my credit score has decreased? What do you mean? What do you mean?
My husband and I decided we were done with insurance, health insurance, so we just opted out. And our premium was going to go up $500 a month for a family of four. But anyway, we're like, screw this. We'll just pay cash. I just had a mammogram. And what they charge your insurance, I got a letter that was like, oh, your estimated cost is $800. And I'm like, cheaper than what we were paying for our monthly premium. So I'll deal with it. And I get in here and they were like, oh, this is what the cost of a mammogram is, $1,500. But since you're no insurance, we are charging you $95. But since you're paying cash, you are only charged $75. And I'm just like, insurance is a scam. It's a scam. Same thing with my, with insurance, my primary care physician, I would get a bill and I would end up having to pay $175 for every visit that's with insurance. So I'm paying my monthly premium. And then as a cash patient, it's $95. I'm so sick of American healthcare.
All right, let me say this clearly. What's happening right now isn't about one video, one scandal, or one state. It's about why people don't trust anything anymore. Because every single time that something gets exposed, and I don't care if it's daycare funding, disaster relief, COVID money, corporate bailouts, or political favors, the reaction is always the same. First, people notice something doesn't add up. The math doesn't math. The story doesn't line up. Then they ask questions. And instead of answers, they get told to calm down. They get told that they're misinformed. They get told that they're being divisive for even asking. That's when truth dies. Not because people are stupid, but because they're being talked to like they are. What pisses people off isn't that fraud exists. What pisses people off is watching billions disappear, watching nobody get held accountable, and then being told that they're the problem for noticing. Because look around. People are working more than ever, paying more than ever, and getting less in return. Healthcare is a joke. Housing is insane. Childcare is unaffordable. Food costs more every single month. But somehow there's always unlimited money for programs that nobody can explain. And when somebody points that out, the conversation immediately shifts away from answers and straight to shame. That's not leadership. That's damage control. And here's the part that nobody really wants to admit. This isn't a political problem anymore. It's a trust problem. When citizens feel like they have to question everything and it gets spun, dismissed, or reframed, they stop believing anything that they're told. Not because they want chaos, but because honesty has disappeared. And until accountability becomes louder than excuses, this anger isn't going anywhere. People aren't radical anymore. They're just awake.
So I did a piece yesterday on the crisis of trust in America. Did you know that 50 years ago, over 80% of Americans trusted the federal government? And today, that number's under 20%. Not only is it under 20% for the government, It's under 20% for law enforcement. It's under 20% for our institutions. It's under 20% for our corporations, even our neighbors. Yeah. And that's because we live in a world today where everyone lies with impunity. In this social media space, it's almost like a lot of influencers think that they're in the middle of some political campaign where they're campaigning against other influencers. I don't know what they're trying to win, but they just make, like they're like children. They just make up stuff, I guess for clicks. I don't know. But it really highlights the true character of individuals today, or I should say the lack thereof. The reason it's not going to stop is because those people are rewarded for it. Yeah, it's crazy. Lying is a profit center. Lying has become a profit center that is more important than dignity or character or morality. Yeah.
In America today, you can't afford a home. You can't find an affordable rental. Wages haven't kept up in 20 years. Utilities are through the roof. Insurance is becoming impossible. And now it's becoming illegal to survive without any of those things. Not illegal to steal, not illegal to harm, not illegal to scam somebody out of their savings, mind you. No, illegal to sleep in the only shelter you still have. Your vehicle, your van, your truck, or your RV. We've entered the next chapter of the affordability crisis, where being poor isn't just difficult, it's becoming criminal. Surviving. Let's be blunt. The system didn't collapse by accident. Housing didn't become unaffordable by coincidence. People didn't suddenly become irresponsible or lazy all at once. And now, cities aren't battling homelessness, they're battling the visible presence of the homeless. They don't want to solve it. They want to hide it. And the easiest way to hide it is to make it illegal to exist without paying someone for permission. If you sleep in the wrong place, crime. If you park too long, crime. If your vehicle looks lived in, crime. If you try to survive outside the system, crime. You're allowed to be broke. You're just not allowed to look broke.
The new American dream is to leave. And I'm not just talking about living abroad and earning American dollars and taking advantage of the exchange rates. I'm just talking about living a life of dignity at this point. I mean, where else in the world is anyone paying this much for healthcare? Where else in the world is anyone eating wheat that they can't digest and is wrecking their gut? Where else in the world do you live to work, not just work to live? Look, moving abroad isn't for everybody. I'm not forcing my ideas on anybody. A lot of people in my comments come at me and they're like, well, just leave, or why do you hate America? I've never once bashed America, okay? I just ask questions and I say, hey, I've been somewhere else in the world where they do it this way. That might be a little bit better than the way we do it here. And if asking questions is wrong, well, I guess I am living in the wrong country. Nowhere is a utopia. And life can be a struggle everywhere. But it's at least worth trying and giving it a shot than just staying in the same place your entire life and never knowing.
So this is what it's come to. All of our hard-earned taxpayer dollars at work. Check it out.
Just got a $1,250 ticket in the mail for having my phone on my lap, face down, and both hands on the steering wheel. Pretty cool.
So I text the people that installed this little mini data mining center here. And I told them, I was like, you know what? I'm going to change my mind on this. And they were like, absolutely not. You change your mind, it's over. And so a lot of people want to know how this is powered. So they ran a cord, like a thick cord, it was like this thick, from here to about two and a half miles north to punch into the grid, a power line or whatever they did. But this is mining all sorts of data right now. And I mean, I'm having people, it's, you know, I can't get into that, but it's wild. And each one of these are basically store the data. So this could store, like, they said like 1 million years worth of data from just one person. So I don't know, but I'm regretting it because they're constantly coming.
Did you realize that this TV right here is a Walmart tracking device to track you at home? Walmart bought Vizio Television. When they did that, they acquired millions of people's data. And more importantly than just the TV itself, they acquired the data system. They bought SmartCast and the data advertising platform that was owned by Vizio. So here's how it works. You pay $598 for the TV, you get it home, you unbox it, you plug it in, and you realize you can't operate it without a Walmart account. Actually, it says right here that a Vizio account is required for Smart TV. And that's more than deceptive labeling, that's a straight up lie.
You'll be immediately redirected to set up a Walmart account.
And here's the sinister part, like I said before, it wasn't about buying the physical TVs, it was about buying SmartCast. Any Vizio televisions that have been manufactured in 2026 require a Walmart account. And look at the deceptive pricing scheme. $238 for the TCL 50-inch and $178 for the Vizio. SmartCast is the operating system that lives inside the TV. It runs all your apps like Netflix and YouTube. It controls your home screen. And most importantly, the ad data system. What it does is detect what you're watching, even from cable boxes, game consoles, or DVDs, and your cell phone connected to the Walmart app.
Now they will tie in what you and your family watch, search, and buy to relentlessly market you into their store. Even more Orwellian than that, linking your TV to your purchases to your location. Now you are a probable target for personal product pricing adjustments set according to your needs or desperation. This is called dynamic pricing, based on your personal data.
And the fact that a giant corporation like Walmart has laid the foundation for a deceptive controlling system just like this should have us all outraged. Does it?
Look at this crazy shit. Hold on. Brand new part from the dealer. Hold on. Hold on. Keep on watching. Keep on watching.
You should be screwed up. Still wrap it. Just wrap it before I pull it out. I'm not gonna put it back in when I pull it out.
Oh my God. So let's go back to it. Go ahead and pull that on out of there. Oh my God. Brand new part. Oh. Oh my gosh. Good thing we looked before we put it on.
Have you heard what's going on at the DMV? Computers are replacing people and leaving people without a job. Poor guy is he's a security guard and he's having to give instructions. Now to get help at the DMV, you have to scan this code and get a number. There is no longer people working at the front desk giving orientation to people. If you could see, it's a security guard, poor guy, having to give people instructions. He's not even paid for that. This poor guy is not getting paid for giving instructions. He's a security guard. Now it's machines helping us. Scan this and give your opinion. I just got someone mad at me for recording this video.
I just went to the drive-thru and I give the lady my card and I'm like, here you go. Nothing, which is fine. Gives me back my card. Thank you. Hands me my food. Thank you. Have a good day. Not a word. Like, she did not speak a word. And this happens to me every single time that I like go through the drive-thru or I'm in the checkout line at a store, and it's only around people my age. Why are we so weird? Guys, why are we weird? Why are we acting like it's our first day on earth? I don't know why this bothers me so much, but why is it that only our age group from like 19 to 23, 24, why do y'all not know how to speak? It really drives me crazy. And I don't love small talk, but like I like to talk to like show appreciation for whatever the other person is doing for me, even if it's something small or like in their job description, and of course they're gonna do it. But like, I'm sorry that I care a little bit, and then whenever I actually make a side conversation, people look at me like I am insane, like I'm clinically insane, like why are you speaking to me right now? And oh my gosh, it upsets me. I don't know if it's because like I work in healthcare and like I'm just used to having side conversations and small talk and, you know, having like the social skills in that area, But guys, you 18 to like 24-year-olds, we need to do better because our brains act fried. Like, we genuinely act like this is our first day on Earth.
Alright, Dad. It is called the kill switch.
Yep.
And everybody seems to be talking about
It's
it.
a big uproar right now, and it kind of needs to be honest with you. For those of you that don't know what it is, if you haven't heard, I mean, you know, it was a bill that was passed into law, the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. It was passed into law in 2021. The section that we're really concerned about is Section 24220, which is the Advanced Impaired Driving Prevention Technology. Whew, that's a mouthful. Let me give you the crux of what it is. The vehicle itself is going to monitor the driver passively, so not going to connect anything to you, going to monitor the driver to be sure that you're not impaired, that you're safe to drive the vehicle. It's also going to monitor your driving habits. It's going to, you know, what you're doing right now. And this is real. This is not something that potentially could happen. This is happening 100%. It's a law. I guess they're trying to do something about the law, maybe repeal. I don't know. Who knows? We don't get into that on this channel. But right now, as of today, it is a law, and it was supposed to take effect in 2024, according to my research, but the technology isn't there. The manufacturer said, can't do it. So now it's going to be in 2027, which we're in the middle of 2026 right now. The cars are already being built. Somehow they're building the technology into these vehicles to monitor the driver and to, you know, potentially shut the vehicle. Here's the kicker. Here's what it can do. It monitors the driver, and I've seen a lot of comments where people say, well, yeah, I just won't let my car start. No. It's going to monitor you when you get in the car. This is what the rules really aren't there, just so you know. The rules really aren't there. What the law says is we need to monitor the driver for impairment, and then we need to take actions for that, you know, limit their driving, not allow them to drive, whatever. But the specific rules aren't really made yet, and that's the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration evidently have to come up with those. Right now, what is supposed to happen is the vehicle monitors the driver and make sure the driver's not impaired. That's when you get in the vehicle to start it, so it could potentially, yes, make you not be able to start your vehicle. You could be driving your vehicle, and it decides, yeah, they're impaired, right? And limit the vehicle's operation, so make you go slower, right? Make you not be able to accelerate. You know, who knows? Again, the rule's not there. Or could potentially shut the vehicle off while you're driving it. Now, that's going to be one that's a big one, obviously. They're not just going to, I would say, they're not just going to shut the car off in the middle of the road, right? I mean, that's a massive safety thing. Nobody's going to do that. But how much time are they going to give you to get over? How much time are they going to get you to get, you know, off the road and safe? Is it going to give you a warning? How's it going to give you the warning? Going to have a countdown timer? I mean, that could be a more potential damage, you know, and safety than impaired driving in a lot of cases. What if you're, I've said this before, what if you're in the left lane in six lane traffic in Atlanta, and this thing tells you the car's going to shut off in 30 seconds? For those of you who've never been there, you ain't getting over 6 lanes of traffic in Atlanta, downtown traffic, in 30 seconds. So and hey, let me make sure I say this, because I want everybody to understand this. I'm against drunk driving. I'm against impaired driving, 100%. We could go into stories about this that affect our family. I'm against it. I believe there should be massive ramifications, massive consequences. I just feel like the technology is not there. The rules are not there. They're shoving this thing into these cars. And yeah, I know people are going to say, I'll just disable it. That's just not a thing. I know people think that it's just easy to disconnect something. That's just not a thing that's going to be able to happen. It's not going to be able, you can just disconnect something and it not do this. So this is something that we're potentially going to have to, well, right now we're going to have to live with. Just a matter of, are they going to get rid of it? Is it going to be retroactive when they get rid of it? Who knows? But right now, yeah, it's coming on. It's going to be in your new cars.
I'll just stick with my 2010 Prius.
A lot of people are going to be like, I need to find me a 1998 Ford truck.
Yeah.
Can we get a whistleblower to come out and explain why and how companies are making it so that nothing lasts for more than 6 months? I'm talking shirts falling apart, shoes ripping through themselves, doesn't matter, jacket button pops off. When I was like 15, you had to pry the American Eagle jeans off of my body after 2 years of wearing them. And now I don't think I own a single piece of clothing that doesn't look like it's falling apart after like 5 months.
Hey, has anybody else paid attention to the monthly
withdrawal limits that your bank imposes, or many banks impose, maybe not your bank, but check and see if it does. Because I got the fine print from one of my banks and I read through it, and there's a max monthly withdrawal limit of $6,000. So that means you never want to put more than $6,000 in that account, because when you want to pull it out, it's going to take you more than a month to get your money. It's really not your money. Once you put it in the bank, it's the bank's money, and they'll tell you when you can have it back.
I am currently standing in front of a flock camera. Now, if you're unfamiliar with these flock cameras, they are AI-driven tracking devices, and their entire purpose for existing is to log as much information as they can about you and your vehicle. Things like the color, the make, the model, the license plates, where you're at. All of these things get logged and sent to a database, which is then consequently sold to the highest bidder. Now, as of today, there's roughly around 100,000 of these flock cameras all throughout the United States. And the companies behind these cameras claim that they do not track your biometrics. Things like your height, your weight, your skin color, what you look like. They claim that those things are off limits. However, that is not what their patents say. The more you know.
I don't mean to be rude, but there is a concerningly large amount of people who are quite literally either supporting or building the infrastructure that's meant to enslave us. And I'm just wondering, like, when are the people who see what's going on going to stop the people who are too dumb to stop building infrastructure for people who want us?
Maybe some people are missing the point whenever it comes to these data centers, right? Regardless of how much power you're going to be using, regardless of how much water consumption is going to happen, regardless of the health effects or the effects on the environment around these things, right? What we don't want is a surveillance state, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to surveil us and watch us, and that's what we don't want. So regardless of your arguments of why they are okay, you best believe they're going to be used to watch you. And there's nothing American about that. And the people standing against them, it's one of the main reasons that we're saying no data centers. Now back to your regular programming.
Well, we're here. We're here. We're in a Big Brother dystopia. And the cost is north of $1.4 billion a month of your tax dollars and my tax dollars to go track where some person wearing a frog costume is located, to see who's standing next to them by reading their irises, facial recognition, by accessing their tracking devices on their smartphones and through their social media.
AI has now become so advanced that it is using your Wi-Fi signals and your Bluetooth signals to detect what you are doing inside the walls of your home, your emotional state, inside the walls of your home using your Wi-Fi, your sleep cycle. Hi, if you're new, I'm Megan. I go through tips and tricks on the internet, how to catch cheater, fun and useful website. At this point, all of the fuckery happening with the tech in the world. MIT coined something called RF pose. It's quite literally through-wall human tracking. Their own description states that a wireless signal can traverse walls and be used to estimate a person's pose. So researchers proved that your ordinary Wi-Fi combined with AI can determine what you are doing inside the walls of your home. So then I was doing a deep dive on this and I come across another article. This one is called EQ Radio, and it detects using your Wi-Fi what your heart rate is doing. So by doing that, they can determine what your emotional state is. That means if your phone is sitting next to you with the cameras covered and all of your permissions off, like I've told you guys to do so many times, can still detect your emotional state and what you are doing using the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi signals that it emits. From there, I run across another article that it's called RF Sleep, and it uses radio signals to detect which part of your sleep cycle you're in.
This is what they mean when they say AI is taking jobs. Because really, this is crazy. What should we say? Crazy.
Well, BMW has gotten on the bandwagon with the whole surveillance thing. We have had BMWs for years, and my husband just got a new one. Beautiful car. I get in and looking at the apps, which everything is so freaking hard to find nowadays, and you've got this. I'm like, interior camera? What the fuck is an interior camera? Well, according to chat, it is a camera that can be, I don't know, just watches you. Watches you in here. It can take screenshots. It can record. If you have the app, you can watch somebody that's driving your car, which is creepy weird. So I'm like, all right, where's the camera? Well, here's the camera. I mean, it's in plain sight, right there. See it? Right above, right there. So I just took a Amazon return to Kohl's, and when you get a return, they give you a coupon. Well, there is a little sticker. I just tore a piece off of it, and I'm gonna do what I do with my computer, because that's creepola. Seriously, who else is sick and tired of this shit?
How's Ford going to have a commercial about how American they are and then turn around and put the most invasive software, surveillance software, in their vehicles? Make it make sense.
So what's your thoughts on some of those clips right there? Anything kind of stood out to you? Leave a comment down below. Just as of late, you know, people are starting to really question things. You know, I'm starting to really question things, and just instead of just going with the flow. It's almost to the point where if they can pull something over on you, they're going to keep on pulling it. You know, it's to the point where you got to check, like, if you're getting the right information, if you're getting the right amount. I seen a video where a guy was going into Walmart and he was weighing the meat. Man, leave a comment down below. And, you know, and people, you know, they're just not working on a level where everything is consistent, and it's crazy. But let me know your thoughts. Let's get the conversation started in the comments, man. I really appreciate y'all hearing what I gotta say, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.